And this is happening at Chad.
On several occasions, the police has dispersed peaceful demonstrators and political gatherings, saying they have not obtained permission from the Inspector General of Police, quoting the Public Order Management Act. Those that have been unlucky and arrested have been prosecuted under the same law. Recently, the police used excessive force to disperse casual laborers of KCCA who were peacefully demonstrating against their delayed payment of their salaries. This did not go well with the Speaker of Parliament, accusing police of acting inhumanely.
They are not protected, and then when they come and claim for their 150,000, they are beaten, tear gas is applied on them. I think we need to be fair to these people.
For his part, Justice and Constitutional Affairs Minister Norbert said they are working on the regulations to help give guidance to security agencies as they put the POMA into action. This will help regulate the use of force against Ugandans by security agencies.
I've found that the absence of regulations to the Public Order Management Act gives the police too much discretion. So we are in final stages to enact those regulations so that the discretion is reduced in order that the police do not violate the Constitution.
The politicians who have faced the wrath of the security agencies have welcomed the move by the ministry to bring the guidelines.
So when we had the Honorable Norbert saying they're going to introduce regulations to guide police, it's long overdue. It's long overdue. They shouldn't even have waited for regulations. Sit your people down and tell them what the law says.
Even what remains without guidelines, without regulations, that law cannot be implemented. And so, for now, any attempt by police to regulate or to give permission like they have always done is illegal, it is wrong, it's outside the law.
A section of lawyers say that Section 8 of the said law was nullified by the Constitutional Court for violating Article 29 of the Constitution, which provides for freedoms to Ugandans. They would like to see how differently the police will act under the new guidelines.
It may not be enough to change the mindset, to change even the practice, because even with the law which is in place, even with the court pronouncements, the practice is that police or security think that they are supposed to give the permission. Even when these people fulfill all the conditions, they notify, because the court has been clear, the law has been clear, that even the court went ahead to remove the penal sanctions that failure to inform is not criminal.
That is giving the Inspector General of Police all the powers to regulate these public gatherings. And you see that the way sometimes police conducts its work, sometimes it does not want to divert from the authority or from orders from above. And it ends up affecting the other innocent parties.
The lawyers are calling for more efforts to be geared towards teaching the law enforcers to understand the law.
Important than regulations is about the change of mindset, because the biggest problem we find with the implementation of this particular law is the mindset of especially security agencies, RDCs, DPCs, police especially, to think that they have a right to give permission or not to people who are exercising their lawful right to either assemble or even protest.
We want you to testify that ever since this law came into existence, we no longer have that freedom of assembly, freedom of association, whereby it is interpreted differently. You need to seek approval from police. Police has to give you permission for you to conduct any gathering. But literally it becomes really very hard.
The politicians and the lawyers have had mixed reactions on the repealing the law.
There's nothing it seeks to cure. There's nothing provided for in POMA that seeks to cure anything that is not cured already by the Constitution and other pieces of legislation.
So far, it is inconsequential. You cannot talk about freedom of association. You cannot talk about freedom of speech and talk about regulation of freedom.
It simplifies that this law has to go back to Parliament. Either it has to be amended according to what the Constitutional Court decreed, or in the alternative, they repeal it completely and they come up with a different law that tries to harmonize Article 29 of the Constitution of Uganda.
Of regulating, in as far as the law is concerned with regulating public order assemblies, the law is very welcome and the law is okay. The problem is the practice. Those who are enforcing it think they have a right to grant you permission to exercise that right or not, and how. Yet that is not the spirit of the law.
It remains to be seen when the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs will table the regulations in Parliament, but commentators continue to say that the law targets opposition politicians against mobilizing support for them. Juma Kiria, NTV.
And grant that they may, as in your presence,